بچه ها سلام. تو این ویدیو میخوایم 2 خبر رو با من بررسی کنیم. امیدوارم که دوست داشته باشید و تا آخر ویدیو با من همراه باشید. عنوان خبر اول این هستش: China learning from Russian war in Ukraine. چین از جنگ روسیه در اوکراین میآموزد.
Experts on China believe it is studying Russia's war in Ukraine to improve its own battle plans and policies connected to Taiwan. It has long claimed the island as Chinese land that is partly self-ruled. Russia makes similar claims about parts of Ukraine and gave such reason for invading the independent country February 24th. Russia has faced much stronger resistance in Ukraine than expected. International economic sanctions have weakened Russia's effort, and foreign military aid has strengthened Ukraine's defense. Some experts think China is looking at ways to take full control of Taiwan quickly. They think the military will attack the island's communications centers and major political institutions. An attack by sea is more complex, suggests Chen Yifan. He is an assistant professor of diplomacy and international relations at Tamkang University in Taiwan. He says China would require more preparation and weaponry, such as artillery and missiles, attacking from the sea. Most importantly, Chen said, China needs to command the moral high ground through cognitive warfare and media discourse, he said. Talks between China and Taiwan ended in failure in 2016 after President Tsai Ing-wen took office. Her political party opposes unification with China. Chinese Air Force planes fly through Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone almost every day. China has never ruled out using force to unite the two sides. Alexander Wang is chairman of a military strategy research center in Taipei. He said China would look for a battle centered on disabling military systems and the ousting of Taiwanese leadership. Like the rest of the world, China is witnessing the world's reaction to Russia's invasion and war in Ukraine. Chinese officials are likely rethinking their predictions on how the world might treat China if it attacked Taiwan, said Tong Zhao. He is with the Tsinghua Center for Global Policy in Beijing. China is very surprised by the West's reaction to the war, Zhao says. I think this shows that even Russian experts didn't know there was going to be such strong international support to Ukraine. I think Chinese experts are starting to reevaluate these strategies and policies. China depends more on foreign countries for economic strength than Russia does. China exported almost 15% of the world's total manufactured goods from 1978 to 2020, UN estimates show. Officials in Beijing are probably seeking a non-military solution to the dispute, Alexander Wang said. Taiwan and China have disagreed since 2016 on how to treat each other, as separate countries, parts of China, or something else. The Ukraine war has signaled to China that disaster could result from a failed military solution. That, Wang said, might lead Beijing to think more about other measures. I'm Katie Weaver.
خب بچه ها، این از خبر اول. بریم سراغ خبر دوم. عنوان خبر دوم این هستش: Electric vehicle sales increase even with high battery prices. فروش وسایل نقلیه برقی حتی با وجود قیمت‌های بالای باتری افزایش یافت.
This year, people around the world are lining up to buy electric vehicles even as prices increase. Electric vehicle, EV, demand has stayed strong even as the average cost of lithium-ion battery cells increased to an estimated $160 per kilowatt-hour in the first quarter from $105 last year. Costs rose due to supply issues, sanctions on Russian metals, and investor speculation. For a smaller vehicle like the Hongguang Mini, the best-selling EV in China, the higher battery costs added almost $1,500, equal to 30% of the listed price. But gasoline and diesel fuel costs have also increased since Russia invaded Ukraine, and experts noted that environmental concerns also are pushing more buyers to choose EVs. Manufacturers from Tesla to SAIC GM Wuling, which makes the Hongguang Mini, have passed higher costs on to consumers with price increases for EVs. More may be coming. Andy Palmer, chairman of Slovak EV battery maker Inobat, said rising costs will have to be passed on to car makers. But EV shoppers have so far not slowed down. Worldwide EV sales in the first quarter jumped nearly 120%, said the website evvolumes.com. Venkat Srinivasan is director of the Center for Collaborative Energy Storage Science at the U.S. government's Argonne National Laboratory in Chicago. He said more and more people would buy EVs notwithstanding the cost of the battery and the vehicle. This increase in battery costs could be an unusual short-term change in a situation in which improving technology and growing production have pushed costs down for almost 30 years. Industry data showed that the $105 per kilowatt-hour average cost in 2021 was down nearly 99% from over $7,500 in 1991. Experts say battery costs could stay high for the next year or so, but then another large drop is likely as big investments by automakers and suppliers change the balance from shortage to surplus. It's like a bubble, and for that bubble to settle down, it's going to be at least the end of 2023, said Prabhakar Patil, a former LG Chem executive. The industry has long been awaiting the battery cell cost of $100 per kilowatt-hour as a signal EVs were reaching a similar cost to fossil fuel vehicles. But with gasoline prices high and consumer preferences changing, such cost considerations may no longer matter as much, experts say. EV demand in China and other markets is going up faster than people thought, faster than the supply of materials for EV batteries, said Stan Whittingham, a co-inventor of lithium-ion batteries and a 2019 Nobel laureate. Concern about the environment and the climate also has led buyers, especially younger ones, to choose EVs over those that burn fossil fuels, said Chris Burns, chief executive of Novanix, a Halifax-based battery materials supplier. Many younger people entering the market are making buying decisions beyond simple economics and are saying they will only drive an EV because they are better for the planet, Burns says. They are making such a decision even though it would be cheaper to drive a gas-powered car. I'm John Russell.